Good morning, everybody. We are waiting for a FEMA update, which should be happening any minute. The live streams are on currently. This hurricane has strengthened to almost a Category 5. Right now, it's at a Category 4 with sustained winds at 155 miles an hour. It'll be upgraded to a Category 5 when it reaches, I believe, 157 sustained miles per hour. So to put that into perspective, it's crazy. No other way to describe it. No other way to describe it. It's also quite cold here in Virginia. Hold on, I have a phone call. Sorry, I was on the phone. Yeah, the reason there's no sound is because it hasn't begun yet. Clearly, that's why nobody's there. Here it comes, I think. Oops, she almost fell. And the guy was deaf, so he's doing sign language because he doesn't
All right,
speak.
good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm pleased to be joined today by the American Red Cross CEO, Gail McGovern, as well as the National Weather Service Director, Ken Graham. They're going to be sharing some of their preparation and response activities and efforts that are underway right now to support Floridians as they are already experiencing the impacts from Hurricane Ian. And so I'm going to begin by providing a little bit of an update on FEMA's mission and some of the preparedness actions that individuals can take right now. So first, Hurricane Ian is and will continue to be a very dangerous and life-threatening storm. And this is going to be for the days ahead. Floridians up and down the coast are already feeling the storm's painful impacts, and we have yet to experience landfall. However, I spoke with my leadership team this morning, and I can confidently say that we have the right teams and we have the right resources in place and ready to meet the changes or the needs of those that we are charged to serve. But as with any storm, the most important work starts at home. That means we need everyone to heed the warnings of their local officials before, during, and after this storm. These are life-saving messages that simply cannot be ignored. And when it comes to hurricanes, water is dangerous, period. From coastal storm surge to inland flooding, the majority of the state of Florida is in Ian's crosshairs.
In Broward County. That's
Therefore, I would like to
high-water
just share a
vehicles,
few
shallow
key
draft
safety
boats,
messages.
and helicopters that are ready for immediate deployment once it is safe to do so. I want to thank, we now have total throughout the state, we've got over 40,000 personnel, linemen, and associated personnel that are involved with the restoration of electrical services and power services that are stationed in the state of Florida. And these are folks that are staged across the state of Florida. If you look in Southwest Florida, you're going to have movement, less likely from southeast for additional surge of resources. Of course, this staging area is going to send people all across the state. I know FPL is mindful of, yes, we're going to have a catastrophic impact in Southwest Florida, but this thing is going to, really barrel across the state. It's going to be a strong storm. I mean, it's going to weaken once it gets on shore, but you're going to end up, you could end up in Central Florida to have winds, certainly gusts that would be hurricane force. It's going to at least be a tropical storm as it barrels across. That's going to cause problems with the vegetation. It's going to cause problems with trees. The ground's already wet based on the amount of precipitation we have. That's ripe conditions for trees to fall over. That means more power lines are down. So that's going to have a cascading effect. So the most significant impacts will obviously be the landfall, but you're going to have other impacts. And so that's why you have these folks staged. That's why you have so many people, because there's going to be a lot of different places around the state of Florida where they're going to have to respond to. We now have 26 states that have sent us support right now, including Tennessee, Virginia, Montana, Louisiana, New York, Colorado, Indiana, New Jersey, and Georgia. I want to thank them for their support. It's much appreciated. I've been in contact personally, but then also the Florida Department of Emergency Management. We're in contact with the local folks, particularly in Southwest Florida, about needs, and their needs have been met. Obviously, once the storm hits, there's going to be additional needs, and we stand by ready to offer the support in that regard. It's very, very important. We are going to have significant rescue operations that are going to have to be done, because you have some people, not most, but you do have some people who've chosen to hunker down in some very vulnerable areas. And so that is going to be something that I know that they're keeping a very close eye on. They're going to monitor the impacts of the storm and then monitor how those folks have been able to weather it. But we anticipate, whether it's ground, water, air, all different types of ways to go in and help people. That's going to commence immediately upon this storm hitting. Pray for people. This is a major, major storm. You never want to see any storms hit, because it creates a lot of problems. But I'll tell you, the state has done a lot of storms over the past. There's some you deal with. It's never fun. It's never fun to have damage. It's never fun to see flooding. It's never fun to see power interrupted. But you kind of deal with it, and then you move forward. There's some storms that really leave an indelible impact, and we've been working with the folks up in Northwest Florida on Hurricane Michael. That was a major storm. There are obviously people that were directly impacted. We had fatalities as a result of that storm. But then you had so many other things that have happened all the way to this day that recovery goes on. This is going to be one of those historic storms, and it's going to really shape the communities in Southwest Florida and have a profound impact on our state. So we just ask people for their thoughts and their prayers. We know there's a lot of people that want to be helpful in a variety of ways. As this goes, we'll be calling on more and more people to pitch in a variety of different capacities. Not everyone is a skilled lineman who can go in and do that. Not everyone can operate special operations to go and rescue people, but some people can volunteer. Some people can help with folks who've been displaced, and there's going to be a need for all of that as this storm goes through and as we assess the damage that has been done. I'm thankful for what they're doing here with Florida Power and Light. This is something that when you're a major Florida-based company, this is just part of what you do with your business. And I'm happy that they've really leaned in on this and really marshaled a tremendous amount of resources to be able to offer the quickest and most effective response possible that they can do as a company. And I know there's going to be a lot of Floridians that are going to be really happy about that. This is not an easy thing. These power problems are not going to be easy, but I think they're committed to putting the manpower in place, spending the resources necessary to have as most successful conclusion as we can. So we're going to hear from some folks from FPL. We're also going to hear from Dane Eagle and Jimmy Petronas. So Jim Bush, Senior Director for External Affairs FPL, you want to say a few things?
Thank you, Governor. Good morning. My name is Jim Bush. I'm a Director of External Affairs for Florida Power and Light. On behalf of the FPL, we want to thank Governor Desantis for coming out to greet the men and women who have come to respond to Hurricane Ian. We have assembled a restoration workforce of more than 19,000. That includes FPL employees, contractors, and men and women from partner utilities from around the country. There are more than 30 states represented here today. We have line workers who traveled in at this site from as far as Texas and Oklahoma, Minnesota, and North Dakota, all to help Florida respond to this challenge. There have been many times that FPL employees have traveled to other states to help them when they were in need, and now they're here to return the favor, and we're very grateful for them for that. Here at the Lake City processing site, these men and women will be briefed on the restoration challenges ahead. We will share our work and processes for storm procedures so that everybody is onboarded and ready to go. They will then fan out across the state and be positioned at 37 work bases that are currently close to the areas that will be most highly impacted. And they will work around the clock until power is restored for everybody as quickly and as safely as possible. It won't be easy. We anticipate that there'll be many downed trees and debris, perhaps tornado damage, and in many areas flooded conditions throughout our service territory. But these men and women will work extended hours, 16-hour days in some pretty difficult conditions. And as I mentioned, they'll work around the clock until power is restored to the last FPL customer. Thank you, Governor DeSantis and the state, for being here and supporting us, and for the emergency declaration, and for all of the men and women who have traveled in to help us respond to this storm. Thank you.
Okay. All right, David.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor DeSantis. I just want to assure all of our customers that we are executing our plan. We have already deployed, as the governor mentioned, resources across the entire state who are ready to respond. I also want to take the opportunity to remind our customers and the general public to keep safety top of mind. FPL, we consider safety our #1 priority, and we want to ensure that our customers know that we're working around the clock to safely and quickly restore power to our customers. And I want to assure our customers that they know that we will not stop until every customer is restored. Again, thank you very much, Governor.
Okay, thanks. Dane?
Well, I want to thank Governor DeSantis for his leadership. I've spent the last few days at the Emergency Operations Center, and while this storm is unbearable to watch, I have a lot of faith in knowing the team that he's assembled that's ready to launch across the state. We've seen there in Tallahassee and here and elsewhere. I'm the Secretary of the Department of Economic Opportunity, and at DEO, we support communities, businesses, and Floridians, and this is especially true during a disaster event like a hurricane. Right now, we are hosting daily calls with our private sector partners to get real-time updates on emergency supply inventories, supply chain issues, and business closures and other critical information to give Floridians access to the latest information. We are sharing these updates in real time at www.floridadisaster.biz. That's www.floridadisaster.biz, as well as key resources and toolkits for businesses before, during, and after the storm. DEO has activated the private sector hotline at 850-815-4925. That's 850-815-4925. And inquiries may also be emailed to esf18@em.myflorida.com. That's esf18@em.myflorida.com. Also, businesses that want to assist, we want to hear from you. Let us know what your capabilities are. Partners including Walmart, Publix, and Lowe's have indicated that they are constantly bringing additional supplies into the state to restock inventory. And and their teams and others are currently with our team at the Emergency Operations Center in Tallahassee. We are co-locating the closures and hours of these and other businesses and retailers on our map available at DEO's webpage, floridadisaster.biz/business open close status. That's floridadisaster.biz/business open close status. Many stores have dedicated pages on their websites to find their store-specific information during Hurricane Ian, including Publix.com/status and Walmart.com/news. I've been in constant communication with Visit Florida CEO Dana Young and the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association to ensure that the state's emergency accommodations portal, expedia.com/Florida, is being updated with the latest on available listings. As the governor shared last night, we are working with FRLA and Visit Florida to get the word out to lodging establishments to relax their pet policies. And there are still available hotels and other lodging available through Tallahassee to Pensacola and in Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade. Private sector partner Uber is offering round-trip rides to and from various shelter locations listed at floridadisaster.org. Riders can enter promotional code Ian Relief, that's Ian Relief, in the app to redeem a free round trip up to $30 each way. Rides must be requested to or from any state-approved evacuation shelter in Florida. We're also in touch with U-Haul, who is offering 30 days of free storage in U-Box containers for usage in 43 Florida locations. Find information at uhaul.com/about under top stories. At DEO, we have released $1.4 million in low-income energy assistance programs, set aside emergency funding to support preparedness activities such as placing people in temporary dwellings to preserve the health and safety, as well as transportation such as gas, cars, shuttles, and buses to move individuals away from the crisis and when health and safety is endangered by loss of heating and cooling. DEO is also engaging with our Communication Action Agency network across the state to ensure that resources are being mobilized to serve our most vulnerable Floridians in the aftermath of the hurricane and impacted communities, including shelter and temporary housing, electrical repairs, debris removal, transportation, fuel, utility deposit, utility payments, utility box replacements, HVAC replacement, and to purchase generators. Now, I'm from Southwest Florida, so this is incredibly hard to watch, but as I mentioned, seeing what the governor and the teams across the state are doing gives me hope. My prayers, my thoughts are with everybody back home, and the message is the governor is organizing all this to ensure safety. Your safety is the primary point of all the work that's being done. So when the storm does pass, whether you hunker down or evacuated, if you've evacuated, please wait. Don't go rushing back home. Wait for the utility crews. Wait for the first responders to clean up, and wait for the signal from your local officials to do so. We're going to help you. We've got your back. We're going to make sure that your communities rebuild, but your safety is priority at this time. Thank you to Governor Desantis for his leadership.
Jimmy?
Thank you, Governor. Thanks, Dane. Urban search and rescue teams, 5 of which the governor has mentioned, Florida-based teams, have been stationed and pre-prepared in order to roll in as soon as it is safe. We have 5 FEMA teams that are out-of-state teams that are here to create a total complement of 600 boots on the ground, pairs of boots on the ground. That includes trauma surgeons, engineers, and also canine units, in addition to shallow water boat vehicles. These groups will enter into those neighborhoods of the affected, devastated areas. As soon as the roadways are clear, they will literally be riding right behind DOT and forestry vehicles as the roads are clear, going from door to door, neighborhood to neighborhood, administering their life-saving services based on the missions of those devastated areas. Please understand, they will make repeated visits. They will be doing welfare checks. In the following days afterwards, our office will be setting up insurance villages in those affected areas where the insurance carriers will set up. They will be taking claims. They will also be issuing emergency assistance based on the terms of your policy. I cannot urge enough. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Do not sign anything when anybody comes to your doorstep providing any type of services on behalf of your of any services you might need. Your first call needs to be to my office at 877-MY-FLCFO, your insurance agent or your insurance carrier to start the claims process. Also, be wary of GoFundMe scams that will emerge after this. Hurricane Ian is going to be an incredibly emotional, tragic event, and it will bring predators out that will prey on your generosity. So please consider using other forms of donation, Samaritan's Purse, Salvation Army, Red Cross. Be skeptical if anybody is putting anything out on GoFundMe because there's no transparency there or where those dollars are going. Again, please stay safe. We will endure this together. Governor, thank you for your leadership.
It's important for people to just be reminded that when the storm passes in your area, there's a lot of hazards that happen after the storm. And more recent storms, not as strong as this, have seen more fatalities even in the aftermath of the storm than from the direct impact of the storm itself. So don't mess around with standing water. If you see any type of cord or electrical, do not go anywhere near that. That could be very, very hazardous. Don't try to drive your car in flooded streets. That is not a recipe for success. If you are using a portable generator, that exhaust has got to be outside of your home. If that exhaust is inside the home, you could get carbon monoxide poisoning, and we have had fatalities as a result of that. So just understand the impact of the storm is going to be enormous. There's obviously some people who are in harm's way by choice, having hunkered down in their areas. We're praying for them. Obviously, there's going to be rescue efforts made as soon as it's safe to do so. But once the storm hits and passes, it is going to be a very hazardous environment still. We're going to be trying to get these guys in to be able to do what they have to do, but they need to have a safe environment to work in too. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going on, particularly down in those Southwest Florida counties. Other thing I would just say is this is a major event. It's going to be a tragic event in many ways, but it's something that we are going to dig in on. We are going to be there. We are going to stand with the people who are most affected, and we understand this is not just a 48-hour ordeal. This is going to be something that is going to be there for days and weeks and months, and unfortunately, in some circumstances, even years. But that's just what we're called upon to do. So we'll be standing there, and we will marshal the resources that we need to be able to serve the people that are most affected by this. I want to thank the men and women who are standing behind me right now. You have a job to do, you work, you put food on the table for your family, and in normal situations, most people don't think much of it. You just assume that you're entitled to have power in your home and all the different necessities and conveniences of life. In reality, there's a lot that goes into this, and it's in situations like this that we realize how significant it is. And so their efforts are going to make things a lot better for a lot of people than they otherwise would. So on the behalf of the state of Florida, all the linemen, all the crew personnel, everyone involved with all of our utilities, FP&L and all of them, we just want to say thanks. Thanks for coming in from out of state. Thanks for being staged and ready to go in and restore services. Thanks so much.
Well, it would be helpful if I unmute my microphone. Anyway, welcome, everybody. That was Governor Desantis in Florida. I think he was in Central Florida. I didn't quite catch Polk County, maybe. No, that says FDLE. But yeah, he's in Florida. He's meeting all the linemen now, shaking hands with all of them. The camera is still live. He's probably going to give an update in a little bit. Again, because he's been pretty on point in giving updates. He was live at 7:30 this morning giving updates, and then he obviously just gave that update. FEMA was holding a press conference, although I don't think there's much to talk about there. So far, it seems this thing has been upgraded to a very strong Category 4 as of right now. They're saying a new update may come out at 11 o'clock. And because it's got 155 mile an hour sustained winds, some are expecting that it's going to go up to a Category 5, which is the highest. There is no Category 6, but a Category 5 with which that cutoff is 157 miles per hour. So you're talking pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy stuff. We'll have to see. My wife doesn't want me to go down. I do want to go to Florida. But I'm worried that the only time that I'll actually be able to go is today because I have to be back by Monday. My son has a dentist appointment that I have to take him to because my wife passes out. So I still haven't decided yet. I'll probably decide right around 3 o'clock or something when I switch out. I did get a new 5G hotspot just in case that I have to go pick up at Verizon here in a minute. But someone said there's not much ground coverage. If you're talking, there's live streamers out. Ryan Hall, y'all, is live on YouTube with 55,000 people watching him. And he's got a bunch of storm chasers. They're all kind of out there because this thing is off of the coast. It hasn't made landfall yet. It's not supposed to for quite a while. And I've watched some, granted, they do have high winds in like Charlotte County, Florida, that area. There's high winds right now, but it seems that it's just far away that those end bands aren't quite hitting it yet. So we're gonna have to wait and see. The eye is super big. I don't know anything. I'm not a meteorologist, so I don't know much of anything in terms of this. Part of me just wants to go for two reasons. One, I think it would be good to have good coverage. But then again, if all the cell towers go down, it's not going to be any good anyway because we're not going to get a live stream out. The other part of me wants to go in case there's anything I could do to help people or at least bring awareness to what's going on down there in terms of the media. Mainstream media has pretty much left the area because they're expecting, I think earlier they were expecting that it was going to hit around 2 o'clock because now it's looking like it's they were saying that it may hit like Punta Gorda area. That's why that weather guy with the Weather Channel, he's sitting there. Reed Timmer is live streaming. Someone else said I wouldn't get out by Monday. If I left today, I would. Last night I checked in with Ryan Hall. He only had 30,000. Yeah. I mean, 30,000 live viewers on YouTube is more than I've ever had. I think the most I've ever had was 14,000. So, I mean, he's got 53,971 people watching because, again, a lot of people, the independent news is something that people want to see now. Speaking of independent news, there's a lot going on, too, around the country and the world. Last night, we talked about the mass shooting that took place on a high school football field that claimed the life of a 14-year-old. And we also talked about the Nord Stream 2 and 1 pipelines that were intentionally sabotaged. Obviously, it's becoming pretty apparent that the United States had a role, if not the response is responsible for those attacks. I don't think I've heard any outright denials from the United States government saying that they were responsible for those attacks. So we're going to have to wait and see. But Russia has demanded, and this is new this morning, they are demanding a convening of the UN Security Council, which is what they chair as well. They sit on the UN Security Council. They are apparently trying to convene an emergency session of that to talk about it. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. But what goes in and out? Are you talking about Reed or are you talking about me? My feed is going in and out? Huh. No bad days. Yeah, I did get your email. I'll reply to it here in a minute because I don't know where your box is and I have to look up the TV because I thought we already sent them all out. Truth Teller in Virginia said, I'm a storm chaser in Fredericksburg, Virginia. You could stop by and grab me and I could navigate for you. Oh, I don't do the co-pilot things. I don't even go on long car rides with my wife. We take separate cars. I don't like people that much. I always say it as a joke, but it's pretty much very true. As you can see, I'm wearing flannel because it's cold as heck up here. I'm actually wearing pants. I mean, many of you guys have never actually seen me in pants. But yeah, it was cold. It's cold. I have to buy new pants. I'll be honest. I tried on 3 different pairs before I found one that fit. I'm a little bit bigger than what I was before. The feed is working fine, so people are saying it's frozen somewhere, but not here. Hopefully not on Citizen Stringer. Maybe you were talking about other feeds. No, it looks like it's live on Citizen Stringer as well. So Teresa said update on orders. In terms of what orders, the coffee orders, I'm going to try to get out the most. We're still out of Awake Not Woke and Flying High. The September mega boxes, I send an email out to every single member that ordered one of those boxes. I think there are 30 of you that I'm pushing those boxes back until October 15th, and I'll send them out with the October boxes, which are going to be delayed. And that's part of the reason why I'm like hesitant to go anywhere, because I've made such headway and trying to get some of that stuff done. Plus I got to finish rebuilding the website and all that stuff. But in terms of putting orders out and stuff while I'm doing a live stream, Teresa, your best bet would be to send me an email and not ask me questions like that in the chat, because I'm not going to look up your order right now. And here's the thing too, because I get some emails sometimes, and this isn't really great customer service. I get that, but we are not Amazon. I do everything myself, from the news. Luckily I have April that helps with the news, but for the packing, the orders, printing the shirts, everything, I do it myself. So typically, if there's a pre-order, you're ordering 30 days in advance. It literally says the fucking ship date on the bottom too. So I had someone that ordered a box. I think it was an October box. I lost my temper on that person, because they ordered an October box. 2 days later, they wrote this long scathing email about how I'm taking too long and they should have received notice because they ordered 2 days previously. I know sometimes it takes a long time, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. The simpler solution would be for me just not to do this store. Do you know what I mean? But someone said it's terrible customer service. Yeah. I'm not very good at customer service. Someone said, what time is the J6 hearing today? It's been postponed because of the hurricane. They put out a notice yesterday saying that. So that's been canceled. Someone said, whatever happened to the guy that got butt hurt because you didn't give him a hug? Yeah, from Vancouver or whatever. Jake the rattlesnake. I forgot. Behind enemy lines. That dude. I don't know. I guess he got a job and is working or something. He was out not too long ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, covering some Patriot thing that was going on out there. But then he kind of disappeared. Someone said, well, you need to stay home. You never go to a major hurricane without someone navigating the radar for you. Yeah, well, I could do that because I have all sorts of equipment. But and to be honest, I never wanted to ride out a hurricane anyway. I wanted to go down after, and film it. I'm not a storm chaser. I've never done it before. But I will go drive in a blizzard because I enjoy doing that. But I'm not a storm chaser. So my intention was to, plus, see, this is another thing. My wife is like, you should go on Friday, powerhouse it down to Florida, be down there for a day, and powerhouse back on Sunday. So as long as I'm back for my son for his dentist appointment. Because we also have the cookies. My wife is picking up the cookies today for the 12 people that ordered the boxes of cookies. So I need to measure those and get the perishable like mailers so we can mail those, because they're all frozen. So I got to buy ice packs or the cold packs and all that stuff too. I don't remember the name of the person that won the camera. But she knows. She already sent me her address and all that stuff. So that's good. Someone said we're not here for the customer service. Yeah, good. Sporty Gal said nothing like getting mad at someone for spending their money for an order. Yeah, I know, right? That's the best part. Sporty Gal. And I love how people that want to criticize me are not people that even support the show. It's kind of weird. Why are you here? You know what I mean? Why watch it? Someone said I want special cookies. Yeah, these are the ones that benefited my kid's school. I think 12 people, or there were 12 people ordered, or 12 boxes of cookies. I don't remember. But in order to ship them, because I didn't realize they were frozen and I can't have them shipped directly to you, my wife is picking them all up at 3:00 today, bringing them home, right? Putting them in our freezer. I have to measure the boxes, then order the special frozen packaging cases things to ship them out. So it's even my wife was talking to my son and she's like, I hope you realize how much we're losing money. We are, because it's going to cost entirely too much to ship, but whatever. Someone said, what are your thoughts about who might have attacked the Nord Stream pipeline? I think we did. That's my belief. I think the United States did. Because without a doubt, I think the United States attacked it. Because everyone's kind of playing stupid, and our own allies are like sending out messages saying, thank you, America, sarcastically, because they know we did it too. Someone said lost your butt on cookies. Yeah, my son doesn't even get to skip a day of school, but you know what he does get? Some giant bubble gum thing, like a yardstick full of bubble gum, which he's not excited about because apparently the gum sucks. That's what all the kids have said. So it was just, I don't know why I did that. I should have just bought him something instead of or just take him out of school instead of the cookies. I didn't even get any cookies for myself. That's the worst part of the whole damn thing. But Billy Mack said, would that be considered an act of war? Yes, I would. I would assume bombing the Nord Stream pipeline. But who would it be an act of war against? Would it be an act of war against Russia or Germany? Because Germany is the one that oversees it. And Germany is just as pissed off as everybody else is. From what I understand, that was under German control, not the United States control. So if the United States is behind the bombing of the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines, and here's the thing that's crazy. If there's another pipeline, I read this morning, that there's another pipeline that runs right next to Nord Stream 2 that was not affected by this at all. And it's just weird. Like, a lot of people tried to say Russia would do it, which doesn't make any freaking sense. Like, but again, that's like saying Donald Trump incited a riot at the Capitol. That doesn't make sense either. You know what I mean? People don't pay attention. Bobby said, I've always loved those who tell you how to do your job. Yeah, but that's why, like, if you go to Pure Truth Coffee right now, just so everyone understands, I am making a valiant effort. If you go to Pure Truth Coffee right now, you go to a landing page. You can't buy anything. And the reason why is we're trying to get caught up on the orders, and I'm building a new system where we're not doing pre-orders anymore. Because for one, it bombards me with work. So if I have to spend all day printing coffee or packing coffee or all day printing shirts, I can't do the news. I can't do shows and stuff, and I'm tired all the time. So what I've done is essentially shut down the website for the week so no new orders get caught in. I can get caught up on what I'm doing. In terms of packing coffee, in terms of just doing an inventory, to see how many raw shirts I have so I don't have to buy more. I got to get new designs, stuff like that. And that way it kind of puts a big pause on everything. And here's the best part. If you're upset because it's taken a long time for the order, send me an email, ask for a refund. I just issued one this morning. I have no problem doing that either because it's my fault. It's not your fault. So how about that for customer service, guys? Yeah, there's a video from February where Biden says we'll take it out. Yeah, I know. I tweeted that video as well. My thoughts, I'll be honest. I'm leaning, it depends. It depends on money, but I'm leaning on 60-40 chance that I'm going to do my Tonight Show while driving down the road. There's a very good chance I may do that because I want to go to Florida. I want to document this. I want to be able to live stream and capture video and see what's going on and show you guys what's going on because that's the whole reason why I work as a journalist is to cover that stuff. So hopefully that works. But then again, like last night, we kind of broke even with the camera. You know what I mean? But whatever. She got a camera for $5, a $5 Venmo or $5 whatever it was, is what won her a $900 camera. So, but whatever. But I just gotta get. Someone said, or just use your brain and know that you're one dude trying to do everything and have some patience. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have patience. Haven't you met me? That's why I take on 50 fucking different roles all the time. But yeah, we'll see. I believe that there's a 90% chance that I'll be in Florida by Saturday. There's a 40% chance that I actually leave today to go down there. Personally, I don't want to get caught in a hurricane. And nor do I want to be an inconvenience for anybody else, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So I'd wait. Chances are you won't get in. Yeah, and half of the shit's shut down anyway. We can get through because I don't know where my media credential is. I think it's at home. But someone said, no, Steve, other people need to have patience. Oh, I got you. Oh, it's for the people complaining. We all know you don't have patience, Katie said. Yeah, that's true. I don't have any patience. But anyone that does want to support our trip to Florida, you could just send the Cash App. The link's right up there. I'm not giving away anything fancy today. But if you want to support it, and like I said, if last night, if I made all the money, I'd already be driving down there right now. We just didn't make the amount, so I got to do a couple more shows and hope that we drum up the difference. But knock on wood, paid all the bills, so that's good. And like I said, after this, I got to package all the camera stuff for Pink Pow Pow or Mau Mau or whatever her name is. She's a Citizen Stringer member too, which is cool. But I got to send the camera equipment out to her and then go pick up the hotspot. And then I'll figure it out. Because my wife texts me at 11 o'clock every day. And she's going to say, are you going to take my car? And at that point, I will make a decision. Or I just may leave tonight and drive straight down. And I could be in Florida tomorrow morning. If you guys want the Florida coverage, send Cash Apps, Venmos, PayPals, credit cards, whatever. And I will drive down there tonight. I want to take her car because it sits up about 6 inches higher than mine. She's got a Subaru. It also has a roof rack, so I could put gas up top. And it's all-wheel drive in case I would need that. So, but if you guys want to, if you want to support that, because I'm going regardless, but if I do really well and I can cover all the expenses, I'll go today. Just send Cash Apps, Venmos, PayPals. Terry Lynn said, yes, January 6th hearing is canceled for today. They canceled it last night saying that they were doing it, in respect for what's happening in Florida. So this isn't eBay or Amazon. Get a grip and hold your breath, people. Yeah, I mean, we'll get it. And to be honest, it's I understand it. I hate it when people are like rude about it. You know what I mean? Like one lady's like, she was rude about it today. And I'm like, you ordered a pre-order item. It literally fucking says pre-order on it. It's like the K-Cups. The K-Cups. It's my fault because I think I could do things quicker. Like I ordered all the shit for the K-Cups, said they would ship on Monday. I didn't even get the K-Cups until fucking yesterday. You know what I mean? Yesterday is Tuesday. So, and I haven't packaged a single K-Cup. I've got 10 pounds of the Flying High and 10 pounds of the French roast, which I'm going to try to package those K-Cups because I got to figure out how to do it. But if you live closer, you could take my Hummer, said Bobby. Yeah, that would be good. I miss my truck. I was thinking about that today. But I was thinking about that because if I had my truck, I'd probably already be on the way down there. Pink Fofo, that's what it was. Or Fufu. But make sure you take your press pass. The police were going to kick Reed out this morning. He had to show his press credentials. Was that only a few minutes ago? I think they were city officials. I don't know if they're police. But yeah, and I don't know where. I got a feeling it's at home. I'm sore today too. I don't know. And you know what? I don't think I'm sore. I think it's because I'm wearing clothes I don't wear. I got a collar on. I keep being like, what's that touching my neck? I'm wearing pants. They're uncomfortable. I keep pulling them down. But yeah, it is what it is. When do you get your truck back? I don't. I sold my truck. That's why I have a Chevy Malibu now. The Chevy Malibu is what I hit the deer in. I had a 2002 Chevrolet Silverado. I sold it because they paid me they paid me $8,000 more than what I paid for it. So I was like, okay. And I put 20,000 miles on that damn thing too. But I didn't think it through. I should have never done that. Or even the Trail Boss that I sold before that I got a 10 grand profit on. I should have probably never did that either because that was a nice truck. I missed that. Now they postponed it because they know their rating will be garbage because everyone's watching the hurricane. Yes, that's exactly why they postponed it. That's why Joe Biden is holding pressers right now and all that stuff. Because he doesn't care about ratings because he's an awful human being. Is that too much? Is that too much? But we also have a 24/7 live stream that we're running on the Citizen Stringer TV YouTube page, which you can find just by Googling searching on YouTube, Citizen Stringer TV, in which you could watch either this show or you could also watch the live cam hurricane coverage, which as you can see here, if I put the right button over, it's pretty gnarly. And there's like 50 people just chilling over there watching this. And we've been running this 24/7. So you can watch this, and I think we have audio. It says we do, but maybe not. Fort Myers. So this is kind of interesting. So this bottom right feed. So Reed Timmer yesterday, you see on this pillar right here, he actually put like a storm surge sensor thing that reads the storm surge. And they actually had the U.S. Geological Society had one already mounted on that pillar. But yesterday I watched Reed's video where him and another camera guy were actually installing it right here, which is pretty neat. So you could see, because you can kind of see the lines of their duct tape and you could see how high the water already is. And this hurricane hasn't made landfall, but look at those freaking waves. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we just continuously watch this one, if this whole pier just goes. You know, if depending on how high the water gets, they're now anticipating the minimum storm surge, or the maximum storm surge yesterday is the minimum today. Just to put it in a perspective on how crazy this has become, what they thought yesterday would be the minimum storm or the maximum storm surge is the minimum today. That's insane. I think they're saying between 12 and 18 feet in some parts. 12 and 18 feet, or 12 and 18 feet. Yeah. So, but we've been running this 24/7. I'm going to continue doing it until this whole thing is done. And James said last night, you said the lenses for the camera were at the coffee shop. I know. I went to the coffee shop this morning and they weren't there. They're in the box that's sitting right there in the other room. It's okay. I had to get a charger for one of the battery packs just in case I do go to Florida today. So I'm charging the battery packs because they're both dead as well. But yeah, someone said hire someone. I'm not going to pay anybody right now to do the work. We can't really, you know what I mean? This shit's expensive, you know? And we didn't raise our prices over the past year for coffee. Except now we pay a shit ton more for coffee. You know, we didn't raise our prices that much for shipping. Now we pay a shit ton more for shipping. We didn't raise our prices on our t-shirt sales. And now we pay a lot more. Thank you, Joe Biden. So even though we do pretty good and we're having high volumes and stuff, we're still, you know, it could always be better. It's just something that gets me. And my wife is going to be pissed. This is her coffee cup. And I've destroyed it. As you can see, I've destroyed her. Her stickers are coming out. This is her old school. I got to stop using this coffee cup. I love it, though. It keeps the coffee warm for so long. But someone said huge profits if you sell your vehicle now and then you buy new, you pay the price. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I sold it and then I got approved for a new one and the payment would have been dramatically higher. Look at this guy walking out on the pier right there. He's streaming. I wonder if he's a storm chaser. But the pier's all blocked off. Like, you couldn't pay me money to go do that. Like, and see, that's the reason, one of the reasons why I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter if I go down to Florida right now or not, because I'll be in my car screaming like a little girl. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like, you know, sure, I ran into burning buildings and stuff like that, which I didn't like anyway. It scared the shit out of me too. But there's no way that I could be paid. I barely go out on piers when it's like sky, you know, perfect and not a wave in the sea. You couldn't pay me to do that in the middle of a damn hurricane, you know. And that's why my original plan, because I thought it was going to hit on Thursday. My original plan was to leave on Friday, be there Saturday, document some videos, you know, do a couple of live streams, and then drive back up, which I may still do. It all depends. It depends if you guys want to contribute to it. The links are right there. You can contribute and we'll do that. But I don't, and plus, and going back to the trying to hire someone, I did for the store. I had a job posting up. I had 3 replies to the job posting. I offered 15 or 18 bucks an hour. I don't remember. Way more than what I should have for someone that was packing boxes and making coffee. And I had 3 responses. One was a felon, so they can't work in our store because I have guns all over the place. Secondly, one was, I don't remember. I didn't like, I think they had pronouns on their application or something, but I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. And then the third person had a lot of retail experience and packing experience, but then on their cover letter, it's like, I understand you've offered $18 an hour. I need $23 an hour minimum. You said a 20-hour work week. I can only work 12-hour work weeks, and and it fluctuates every week. I'll let you know a day before you make the schedule. I'm like, that's not happening. That's not happening. So it's just hard to find people that want to work. But someone said, do what I did. I bought my Hummer and my daily from the bank cheap. They were both repos, and they get what they can out of them. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to buy anything until like the next vehicle I buy is going to be a big truck, and I'm going to keep it forever, and that's it. I'm not going to sell it. And I just may pay cash for it and just wait. Someone said, where are you leaving from? Florida. Or where am I leaving from? Virginia, Northern Virginia by DC. Someone said the ultimate business, sales versus gross profit. Yeah. They're now predicting storm surge to cross over Florida, then go out to the Atlantic, but did not say it going up the coast. What? That would be 300. What's the highest point in Florida? 353 feet or something like that. That's the highest land in Florida. Can you imagine a storm surge of 315 feet? Oh my gosh. How long of a drive is it? How far? It's like probably 1,000 miles. Maybe down to Port St. Lucie. I think it was 13 hours, 14 hours of me driving because I did it when we moved up here. 700 miles roughly. So it would take me about 13, 14 hours because I'd be in a car. So I'd be driving a little bit quicker than I would in a big truck. But so 700 miles at $3 a gallon. So let's do some math. This is how much, for a bare minimum that I would need. Let's just say the average is $3.50 per gallon, which is a high average, but it's going to go up because we have a hurricane, right? So $3.50 a gallon. Let's say my car gets 20 miles per gallon, right? So divided by 20, which is 70 cents. No, did I do that backwards? Clear. $3.50 a gallon. I'm not very good at math today. Would be 17 cents. So you got 17 cents times, let's just round it to make it even because I'd be driving around, let's say 1,900 miles. That'd be $323 just in fuel. And then food, I'm a big guy. I eat a lot. So we'll say plus $60 a day is, say for 3 days, you're at 500. Let's say supplies, like another $400 in supplies, just in case I'm like helping people or giving water out or something. See, it's right around $1,000. So last night I had a $1,500 goal. We did the $500 because that's what we needed to be able to do what we needed to do. And then $1,000 was for the trip. So you didn't quite get it. Someone said, take the Citizen Stringer chopper. It'd be a couple hours. I know. But someone said, use Gas Buddy, stop at Costco and cheaper places. Yeah. Well, I like using Shell because I get some money off of it because I'm like a member or some shit like that. But at 345 feet above sea level means Britton Hill is Florida's highest natural point and the lowest high point in the United States. That's true. Yeah, gas went up here too. I saw it this morning. It was $3.39 per gallon, which yesterday, I think I filled up yesterday and it was $3.19. So it's gone up. But like I said, if you guys do want to support me going to Florida, you could do it via the links right there if you want. Otherwise, you can't place any coffee orders or anything because, like I said, I took the website down because it crashed, and now we're rebuilding it. And we're going to be switching from Shopify over to WooCommerce in hopes that kind of fixes some of the issues we've been having. And then, yeah, I hope to have that website back up on Friday, but we'll see. But yeah, if you want to support it. I'll be honest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this live feed live for a little bit. And should I just keep it live on everywhere? What do you guys think? Should I just keep it live on this channel or should I just come back later? Someone said you're hearing the railroad strike will be tomorrow. No, I think it's been pushed off for a long time. And I could be wrong. Let me see if there's a committee meeting today. There were a lot of committee meetings scheduled, but it'd be easier just to leave this whole thing live. All right, so Wednesday, it's 11 o'clock. Hearings to examine accountability for war crimes for Russia. All right, let's listen to this. This one should be interesting. That should be interesting. I don't know if it's still live.
Thousands of plaintiffs would have resources, and there are firms that provide those resources to organize all the preparation and make sure that communications with the plaintiffs and evidence, et cetera, were all gathered. Do you understand that question? Do you understand what I'm trying to get at? And you'll get me an answer.
Certainly, Senator. Thank you for
Okay, I've got 2 minutes left, so let me jump to the second
so
question.
shut the hell up.
Mr. Watson, you're clear on what I'm asking for?
Yes, Senator.
How are we helping with the back office support necessary to do what is essentially the biggest class action ever? The second has to do with demoralizing the Ukrainian officer corps, which I think is of strategic value. We hear plentiful accounts of ordinary soldiers being disheartened, miserable, and demoralized. And I think that has an effect on the battlefield in Ukraine. To the extent that we can also demoralize the junior officer corps, I think that will have also an effect on the battlefield. And it seems to me that one way to demoralize the junior officer corps is to start calling out individuals by name who are associated with these acts of atrocity and brutality. And to the extent that you can help us assemble that information and help us make it public, if you agree with that strategy, there is bipartisan interest in trying to bring that forward so that if you are a lieutenant, a major, a colonel in Ukraine right now, and you are asked to engage in brutal and likely criminal activity, you have right in the front of your mind that your future may very well involve an orange jumpsuit someplace rather than a heroic welcome back in the mother country. So that would be the second question, and I just want to make sure you understand that. If you have any questions about the question, you've got a minute, and if you don't, then just get back to me in writing as to whether that's a purpose you'd like to help us pursue.
If I may, just since we have a little bit of time, address the first question. Yes, the task that Ukrainian prosecutors, our colleagues there, confront is a daunting one indeed.
Yeah, it's massive.
Well, we consider the impact of sanction regimes in the
we
future.
have been at DOJ.
Assistant Secretary, you might lead, and then let me turn to the ambassador.
Thank you, Senator. I'm happy to address this point. I think you make, there's a couple of things you've said which are essential for us to bear in mind. First, we must be humble, and we cannot rest on our laurels. We must take this long game and be rigorous in how we move forward. What we are seeing in Russia's intensive use, this $100 billion it's spent in fiscal stimulus to try and disguise the true pain of its economy, we must continue to force them to burn through the entirety of the buffers they have in place. It's that motivation which has led us to the price.
I switched to a different hearing because I realized the other one was more propaganda than anything. This is hearings to examine keeping the pressure on Russia, which is more fitting.
And impede its ability to earn money in several of its key revenue-generating sectors. It's in energy where we must focus our attention in order to deny Russia that revenue. And without that hard currency, it will not be able to continue to support its economy and to disguise the cratering economic conditions that are occurring.
I certainly concur with regard, but the reality is if a country has oil, they're going to be able to get money for it. And that's, I mean, if we were putting sanctions on a nation that didn't have raw materials and oil, well, those sanctions would be really tough. But with Russia, I mean, we can try and do all sorts of things, but if you got oil and you got gas and you got coal and you got gold, you're going to be able to get money. Yeah. Ambassador?
I think this is really well said, Senator, and it's an issue we struggle with every day. So I agree with you, and particularly being humble about our projections of what will happen. I'll get back to you with the point on Iran. I don't have that with me now. It's a good comparison, though obviously Russia's ambitions under President Putin are very different from Iran's, and so the scale does matter. I agree with the ranking member that the imperial ambition has taken a very serious hit at this point. Now, sanctions are one tool. Then I just want to, in Russia, I'll emphasize two pieces in addition to what Assistant Secretary Rosenberg's mentioned. One of them is the measure for me is not how much do they have, it's what can they buy. And that's why I emphasize the export controls and the restrictions on their ability to finance their major purchases, because we see that they can't buy the things they want to use on the battlefield. And this is expanding, and we will keep growing. The second is, this is impossible to quantify. As I mentioned, it's like the effect of soldiers' morale during a battle. At some point, a system becomes so rickety and improvised that it can't succeed. I mean, you had a great...
Hey, Mike Oates on YouTube. What's up, bro?
Lies and guesses, and that just can't go on for long. But it's impossible to put one number against that, but it is how a sanctions program really has an effect.
Thank you.
And then the China point, we can discuss more. Thank you.
Senator Van Hollen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank both of you for being here. And I want to applaud the administration's effort with respect to supporting Ukraine and punishing Russia. And Congress, of course, has been an important key partner in that effort. I think we have about $15 billion as part of the continuing resolution in support of Ukraine. As you mentioned, Assistant Secretary Rosenberg, in response to Senator Romney, the big sort of hole in our sanctions is the record revenue and record profits Russia has obtained from the sale of energy, oil and gas. And I share the concerns that Chairman Menendez raised at the beginning of the hearing regarding holes in proposed sanctions regimes coming up with respect to the price cap. So I'd like to drill down a little bit more on it, because it's a creative idea. And I want to applaud the administration for this price cap idea with the G7. A couple questions as to how you envision that being enacted. I assume that there will be penalties on entities from participating countries if they don't comply, right? I mean, isn't that right? I mean, you're going to, if you're an entity in one of the participating countries and you don't comply, knowingly don't comply with the price cap, there will be penalties, right?
Yes, Senator, that's correct.
Right, so there will be sanctions on those countries. Do you envision those sanctions being applied by each participating country?
Yes, they can. They could also be, in here I think you're talking about enforcement actions.
Talking about enforcement actions.
Yes. So yes, they could also be applied by other jurisdictions where there is nevertheless a jurisdictional link. For example, a service provider in an EU country, but that's using dollars. There's two different jurisdictions there, so there's an opportunity for multiple jurisdictions.
Right, so in that case, in that example, you're talking about the participating G7 country and the United States when we're talking about dollar-denominated transactions, right?
Yes, Senator.
Okay. But we have no plan to enforce the price cap on any countries that do not participate in the price cap. Isn't that right?
To play out an example here in order to answer this question. So if, for example, we have a Southeast Asian country that is purchasing oil not under the price cap and using entirely non-G7 services, there's not a jurisdictional link. I would note that we believe that the powerful economic incentive for them to use services in these jurisdictions and also
very important message for everybody. I have just crowned Mike Oates a moderator on YouTube. That's my way of saying you don't ban him. Don't ban him. He could say what he wants on this platform, unless it's racist. But you have to ask my permission. But he wouldn't say anything racist. But he's a mod, so he can ban you now. So haha. Ha ha ha.
If I could, because my time is short. This is why, Senator Toomey and I introduced the secondary sanctions regime, because it's our view that if you're talking about a country like China, and you're talking about a period of time, and we have to be in this for the long haul, I know you agree with that, that there is just a real opportunity if there are no penalties applied to China, for example, for buying under the price cap, that the whole thing could unravel. So I guess if all of this works as you expect, what is the downside of creating penalties not just for servicers and entities in the G7 sort of framework, but beyond that?
Senator, we do currently have authorities to name entities with sanctions that compel G7 service providers to violate sanctions. That is to say, there is an opportunity to go after entities outside of the
Whoa. Interruption here. Are you talking about my outfit? You saying this is a liberal outfit? I'm wearing a military green. You can't tell because I'm in front of a green screen. So, oh, shit. It does look like a liberal outfit. I like wearing flannel. I actually own a lot of flannel. It just doesn't fit me anymore because I'm jacked. Anyway, I don't know if that comment was directed towards me, but...
Oil traders can adjust quickly. Over time, that just leaves, I think, a big hole in what is, I think, a really good idea and concept. And look, we're working with you and your team, and happy to continue conversations as we introduce the final bill. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Young.
Thank you, Chairman. I thank our witnesses for being here today. Title of the hearing is Keeping the Pressures on Russia and Its Enabler, more of an asymmetric approach to isolate Putin from his allies. For example, the Burmese military junta has positioned itself as Putin's arguably most uncritical post-invasion partner in Asia. I see Moscow has readily backed the junta in return, both diplomatically and by arms sales, totaling over $1.7 billion over the last 20 years. Has the administration, Mr. O'Brien, has the administration considered imposing targeted sanctions or reinforcement of arms embargoes against the Burmese military?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Very good. What's been the result of that reflection and consideration?
We are looking at the pillars of, we have sanctioned 70 individuals, 27 institutions. We are working with our regional partners in the, to target the junta and sort of push toward free and fair elections.
To leverage the ASEAN
Yes.
relationships in particular.
And trying to, as with the Russia sanctions directly, we need to make sure our partners have some options.
I'll be honest, this shit's boring the shit out of me. It's boring. I don't want to watch this. And I control this channel. So we're not going to watch that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put up, because I'm super awesome like that, I'm going to put up our 24/7 feed, and then I'm going to run and do the stuff that I need to do, and leave up it's not this one. No, because then all you would see is like the empty chair. Should I just leave it like that? Would that be good? Should I just leave it like that? Or I could make it full screen. But I don't want to listen to the Russia shit. Fuck them. Like, fuck them. They all want us to go to war. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. Should I leave it full screen or just with the empty chair here? Because I'm gonna be gone for a while. And that was part of the reason.
And in Winter Haven, the timing would be later on tonight, somewhere around the midnight time frame where we can see.
So we have sound coming from something different. What do we have sound? Oh, from the Weather Channel, which I'm not going to leave up because I'll get copyright on that shit. That's YouTube TV. There. This is our own. Maybe move the chair over. No, you need to go mulch before this storm gets here. I know that's one of the things. One of the reasons why my wife doesn't want me to go. She's like, before all this rain comes, we need to get all the. We need to clean the gutters. That's what she was saying. And the ladder's at the store. And I went to the store this morning and I forgot to grab it. So there's no sound on our feed right now, even though it says Fort Myers has sound. But there's no sound on that. You guys are talking about NPCs, whatever the fuck that is. I don't even know. Someone said you love maybe move your chair over. Why? So you could see that one? No. I'm just going to, how about I just, oh wait, I can't. I was going to say I'll just block it. Should I just end the live stream? Because technically this is already live on the other YouTube channel and the chat's open. And so you could just go there and I can leave it up for Citizen Stringer as well. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then, because I got to go get the hotspot from Verizon. I got to go get an oil change in my car. I got to, what else do I have to do? I need to go home and eat. There's something else. Maybe go to the bank. I don't remember. There's something else I have to do. And then come back. What time is the White House press conference today? That's what we want to know. We don't want to miss that shit show. Shit show. Let's see. I got too much shit to do all the time. Holy fuck. They got a lot of shit scheduled for today. Hunger, nutrition, health science. Oh, no. So they have 4 of them scheduled for some reason. So maybe Karine Jean-Pierre isn't going to be live today. I don't know. Oh, post office. That's what I got to do. Send out the camera. What should I do? Let me ask the people on Citizen Stringer. Should I just play my show from last night in Santilli? You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to end all the live streams. If you want to watch our 24/7 streams of the of what's going on with the hurricane, you could do that. I'll probably do another update around 2 p.m. today, and we'll go from there. And then I will cut all the live streams, and I will just, on citizenstringer.tv, I will just put my show from last night, Santilli's show from this morning, because I think that's a better course of action. Plus, they've been watching this all night. They're probably tired of it. So I'll give them a little break from this. I will play, matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll play Santilli's show from this morning immediately following the show. And then my show from last night immediately following his show from this morning. And then we'll go that way. I'll see you guys. The press briefing is in an hour. Which press briefing? The White House press briefing? It's not scheduled. I'm looking at YouTube where they have it, and it's not scheduled. 2 live streams currently. Yeah, see? The White House press isn't scheduled right now. Not that I see. Maybe I'm missing it. I don't know. But let me go get this this camera mailed. Let me get to Verizon, pick up that hotspot. It's a good hotspot too. It's 5G worldwide. Blah. I don't know. Hopefully it works. It was this morning. Someone said. What was this morning? The White House press conference? I doubt it. All right, so I'll see you guys around 2 o'clock. We'll give another news update and traffic and weather at 2 on the 2s. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.